Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
If you're trying to up your game, increase your business, do a better job branding who you are, then you need video. It is essential. Nowadays, so many more people consume video, and we're talking hours. The average person, hours every single day. Oh, by the way, you're probably watching this as a video. There you go. If not, you're listening to us, but the video's available. You need quality video content. And this gentleman provides that for so many different businesses, all different types of businesses as well. He is Graham Duval. He's back with us from Valüd Productions. It's good to have you back, man. How's it going?
Yeah, how's it going, Steve? It's good to see you. Yeah, you nailed it right on the head. Video today is no longer a luxury, but rather a necessity.
It really is. And when you think about everywhere you can experience video, it's social media, it's a TV commercial, it's YouTube, it's just on and on. And social media in itself, there's all different types of video. I think it could become overwhelming for somebody. Maybe we should break it down for them.
Yeah, that is a great point. It is very overwhelming. There's so many aspects to it and so much that you can do from it. And I know that when we work with our clients, it's very tailored specifically to their needs. But the analogy that I always kind of like to give as a great way to kind of think about it is, and we approach it from a strategic standpoint of like how our different videos working together. But a good analogy is like, think of a wheel. You've got the middle hub in the middle that kind of holds it all together. And then there's the spokes that come out of it. And so starting with a foundational video strategy where they're, having your branding video and some testimonials and things like that. And then thinking about how are we branching off to the different avenues that video can offer, from social media to television. And ultimately, once you're done, you have this completely finished wheel that ties everything together, all driving them back to your main traffic sources. And then that's how you can grow your business. So you can still get benefits from all of it. A wheel with a few spokes is still going to work, just not as well as like a fully formed one.
Sure. I often call it the multiplying effects of media. So if you're in one spot and one spot, 1+1 equals 2. If you're in 3, 1+1+1 now equals 5. If you're in 4, it equals 8 because it exponentially blows up. Because when somebody sees you in one spot, I saw Graham on TV. Wow, he's the one. Oh, I just saw him on social media. Oh, I just saw him over here. It puts that thought in somebody's head that that person is the go-to person because they're credible. And let's face it, back in the day, there was this thing called, I was seen on TV, because it carried credibility. It's like, oh man, it was on TV. It's got to be good. It's kind of the same thing, that it's just, you want to be in everybody's face. That's really what it comes down to.
100%. And having that, it like on that similar note, that compounding effect where you start showing up and then the attention compounds on each other. And like you said, you start to feel like the person. You see him here and then you see him there. And it's like, wait a minute, I kind of feel like I know that guy, even though you may never have met them, which makes it that much easier to close a sale once you get in. Cause it's like, oh, okay, I know this guy. He's trustworthy. He shows up, he gives us value. And so that goes a long way.
Yeah, and it's the sale is based on emotion and logic. Emotion and logic. It's logical to think that if I'm seeing this person everywhere, that's the right choice. And then to your point of the emotion, I want to feel connected to them. So I feel like I already know them when I don't, because I've seen them everywhere. Maybe I've heard them speak or heard people speak about them in their testimonials. So when you plan a production, obviously there's a strategy that goes into this. It's not just show up with a camera and a mic. When you're doing that, can you bank a lot of the footage and use it for other things along the way?
Yeah, that is a great question. Most definitely. There's a lot that can be done with multiple different things. So thinking there is some strategy behind it, in the sense that if we're creating like a 3 to 5 minute branding video, it's not going to have the same effect just to cut it up into a bunch of small different pieces and use it on social media. But thinking that we can cut it up into smaller pieces to use on social media, maybe we'll then record a hook to go with that little piece. So thinking about the different ways and trying to get the biggest bang for your buck, and make it stretch so that we can reach as many of those people as possible, is what we try to do. And it's kind of what sets us apart from other video professionals, as opposed to just coming in, creating a nice video, handing you your video, and like, now what, thinking about what goes on behind it. So.
And they're all different too. Like I have to believe a TikTok video is not going to be a Facebook video. There's going to be a different approach to it.
Exactly. There is it. You have such a short attention span on some of these social media platforms where we have to grab their attention in such a short amount of time, where like something that might live on a website, we want to grab their attention quick, but we also want them to stay. So so they stay on your website longer, or whatever the case may be, but it's a little bit more drawn out. So really thinking about what that approach is.
If you're thinking about doing this with your iPhone, don't do that. Listen to me carefully. Don't do that. You're not going for a quickie. Okay. For a quick Instagram video. Okay. For a branding video that is going to be solid for you, it's not going to come out the way you want. The audio is key. By the way, I want to tell you, your audio is the best podcast guest audio I've ever had.
I appreciate that. We were kind of joking before about the microphones, and I actually do some podcasting stuff with some of my clients, because podcasting, I mean, Steve, that it's a great avenue for businesses to start getting into today, because of that reason of being able to use it across different channels, and from video to social media to things like that. And I appreciate that. So I got the Shure podcasting microphone.
I bring that up for this reason, because you're mindful of something like that, where if somebody thinks, I'll just shoot it on my phone, you're not going to get quality audio. It's not going to be what you need it to be. And it's, again, for a quick Instagram video, fine. How about some of those specialized videos? Can I give you an example of a video that somebody might not think of? And then I want to hear some from you.
Yeah.
I have friends that own a chain of funeral homes, and they wanted to brand something. They did a video with a dog. It got the most views ever in anything they've ever done. Why? Because it's a service, canine companion service dog. So when somebody goes to a funeral service, you can have the dog that brings you some comfort. And
right.
Everybody loves dogs. And they did a video just for the dog. Lots of different cool shots down on the ground, whatever.
Yeah.
This is before I knew you. You probably would have taken it levels higher. But sometimes you don't think of what you can do with video. And who would ever think, a chain of funeral homes, we're going to do a dog video. What are you even talking about? It was so beneficial. Can you think of some videos that you've done for businesses that you might not even think that that's a thing that you could do a video for?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's so true, and it's about building that personal connection. And one of the examples, like, because we always thinking about it strategically and how we can approach it strategically, I did a kind of like highlight video for a client of mine, where our goal was to increase sales. Instead of doing the typical route where we might have like ads running and pointing to a landing page and all this other stuff, the way that we were able to increase sales with this highlight video, which was a employee highlight video, the owner said that the sales team, the winner of the month of whatever month it was, I can't remember, is going to be the one who gets to be the highlight for the company and the employee highlight in the video. So now all these employees are now working as hard as they can to get the sales as best they can to increase sales. And it was their best month and continued to stay their best month because the winner wanted to be on the video. And that was with one video. And so that's just a creative way of how we can help generate sales, thinking outside the box using video.
And that's where you come in, because you may look at it through the eyes of somebody else, or you do. And when you're deep in it, it's your business. You're not seeing it. What are you worried about? Moving your business forward, taking care of customers, and creating revenue. You're not seeing all the different, no pun intended, camera angles that can be achieved through that. How does it begin? Does somebody come to you, tell you what their goals are, their situation, and then you come up with the strategy?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the first step is to reach out, have a conversation. You've got ideas. We can definitely incorporate any of those ideas, but that'll be the first step is reach out. We'll have a conversation, find out what your goals are. And then really the first big step is once we decide to work together is really diving in on who the ideal customer is or who this audience is for. So like, who are we trying to reach with this video content? Because once we have a clear picture of that, that's when I can take that with my team and I and really think about, okay, what are those different camera angles or those different views at how we can connect with this picture of a person. And that's where some of those cool ideas come from is like, oh, we'll do this like sales competition or, a dog thing or something like that, because we know that this is the audience that we're trying to reach. And so we can dive into different ways to do that. And then from then on, after we come up with that strategy, then it's production planning and figuring out dates and things like that. And then finally, at the end, we talk about distribution and where that all lies. So there's a lot to it after that. But that main first step of knowing who your audience is so key.
I want to role play with you. I'm going to be the prospective client, and I'm going to give you my concerns or thoughts, and I want to hear how you would address them.
Yeah.
Okay. Graham, I'm really excited in doing a video. I know it's going to be great for my business and build it up. And I am the face of the business, but I've never been on camera. I'm actually nervous. I get stage fright. Even public speaking scares me. How am I going to do this?
Yeah, that's not a problem. I totally understand you, Steve. Like, you're not alone in that. Almost every single one of my clients that has come to work with me has been in a similar position. So first off, don't worry, you're not alone. So when you have an idea for a video, I'm curious, why are you thinking of wanting to use video? Like, what are you thinking about when you think of video?
Well, we have a social media campaign. We have a decent number of followers. We do some quick videos. The girl in my office does it, and they're good, but it doesn't really tell the full story of my business. And people associate me with the business. So I'm thinking that I should be in the video. Everybody here in the office says, yeah, you should be it. You've got a lot of charisma. I'm very humble. So that's what I'm thinking. And even we're also thinking about doing a TV commercial at some point as well. So
yeah,
if we were to do all of that, would you be able to, shoot the video, but then with a plan of maybe eventually doing a TV commercial? I'm not ready for it yet, but could we edit that, like, I guess, down the road?
Yep. Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. Let's take one step at a time. So the first step is we're gonna go through an onboarding process where we're gonna really dive deep into who that ideal customer is. You say people really connect with you through you as the business. Who are these type of people? I want to know. And so that's going to help us really paint that clear picture of what the types of stuff we can do with social media to really help exponentially get that visibility and credibility and ultimately profitability out there.
So
how's that sound?
Sounds great. Sign me up. I have a waste removal company, and we rent dumpsters. We do it for contractors, and we also do it for homeowners who are doing renovations. They want to clean out and all of that. we're kind of known for it. I'm the guy behind, I'm the face. Everybody knows, they have my picture on the website as well.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess maybe I could get some of my customers to maybe do some video.
Hmm.
But that being said, what vision do you have for what I'm trying to achieve?
Yeah, my first initial thought is we want to provide some value in the types of videos that we're creating, especially with you. We've got your picture out there. People make that connection already, but we want to take it a step further and provide value. So, like, what are some of those things that you hear all the time as far as frequently asked questions or just, if you're dropping off a dumpster in someone's lawn, what do they need to know to make sure that they're getting the best use out of this thing? Like, what are some tips to this dumpster or things like that? Offering different pieces of value, frequently asked questions, things like that. And then from that point, we can even incorporate you meeting with some of your customers, getting some stuff with you and your customers and interacting that way, as well as it's always fun to run some sort of promotion and see what other people are putting together themselves. So maybe a little bit of user generated content as well, where it's like, hey, get a 10% discount or something if you send us in a selfie video in front of our dumpster, and then we'll put together this like cool montage at the end, all with different people and just what they did. And so that's an option of something on your phone that we could actually take a step further than just using phone footage.
I love that.
What do you think of that? Is that kind of in the direction that you might be headed?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I mean, that could even be guessing a social media video, and we
Yes.
create maybe even a contest, dumpster selfie. Sounds
Exactly.
ridiculous, but show us your junk. You've just
Hmm.
cleaned out your house or, a reno or whatever. Show us your junk. It's almost kind of a double entendre, if you will. And maybe you could win a vacation or something like that at the end game. There's one other thing that we also do, and we have competition here in our city. We offer the safe driveway guarantee that when we put the dumpster down, we put down wood that protects your driveway. Nobody else does that. I hear all the time, they crack my driveway and then they're not responsible
Right.
for it. So I think that's a point that we also need to push.
Most definitely. I think something like that would be really good in like more of an explainer type video, a little bit more branded than something like fun like what we were talking about with the customers, but just like really highlighting that point of your business so that maybe on your website, I'm sure that you have somewhere that's like, this is our guarantee, like this is what we do. So like having something that kind of shows that visually is going to make a strong connection with that guarantee.
And maybe, I think of it this way. Um, a lot of people, when the dumpster is delivered, they're out there watching, like, "Oh, be careful of my driveway. Be careful, be careful." Maybe we could have Jamie, the housewife, with her feet up, watching TV, maybe on her phone, maybe doing her nails, and then she's not worried. And outside, they're
Exactly.
delivering her dumpster, and it's all good.
Exactly. Yes. I think even a bunch of different scenarios, whether that's the housewife or like the guy at work knowing that he's getting his dumpster delivered and doesn't even have to be there to worry about his driveway, or just some of those different scenarios. And this is why it kind of comes down to why it's important for us to have this first onboarding meeting to really know who
Mm-hmm.
your customer is so that we can pull all these different viewpoints and tie it into this whole production strategy.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was.
But it's like that's what you do, and I'm seeing it. By the way, show us your junk. I think
That's
we
good.
came up with a good one here.
Yeah, everybody listening, the dumpster people. That's a good one.
And what aside from the name, it's not glamorous to take a picture of a dumpster and you in a selfie, which makes it even
No,
more funnier. Um,
exactly.
yeah, but it's things that move the needle. All this is just part of the process. What I'm getting here is that you are a video investigator. You're a video
Hmm.
investigator. You're going in to investigate somebody. It's like a like CSI Graham. You're going in there to find all the little pieces that you need to blow it up, if you will, in terms of this big video production, or one of many video productions.
Right. 100%. And that's one of the main points that I do try to get across, is that like a lot of people tend to have that misconception. It's a videographer, like they just come in and they create a nice video. And I'm looking to kind of flip that script a little bit, where it's like, yes, just coming in and creating a nice high quality video is going to help overall 100%. Do not get me wrong. But where I can kind of set myself apart a little bit is the fact that we're going to investigate those little areas. We're going to come up strategically. We're going to try to solve these problems with video as the medium to do that.
I believe with your talent and the equipment that you have and what's available today digitally, that you can create some amazing productions. I've seen them. And I'm bringing this up because if, again, somebody is thinking, let me just shoot it on my iPhone, I really don't need, you're up against major productions. If you want to put a video on YouTube, and YouTube is number 2 search engine, also owned by Google, you want to have video that's going to match, let's say, the movie that somebody's about to watch, or the other commercials that were produced that had mega budgets. But you can be on the ball field. It's not like, it's going to look cheesy compared to that. You're going to be in the zone as the client because of the technology and this up here, which is what you have.
Exactly. Yeah. It helps level that playing field as far as.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with that.
Yeah. Where some of these smaller mid-sized businesses, we can be playing in that same ballpark, like you said, of some of these massive companies, which helps them as a whole, because now they're being perceived as a much larger, much more powerful brand than, maybe they're a small mom and pop shop, but that is so huge for someone like that, because if they can be shown as that authority in their field, and the place to go, playing in the same game, maybe they're in the outfield though a little bit as opposed to playing pitcher, but still they're still in the game. And that is so huge for businesses.
For a fraction of the price, of the price of the, behemoth video that you might be watching.
100%. How
do we connect with you? How do we start this whole process?
Yeah. So my website is valudproductions.com, VALUD productions.com. You can go right there. There's a contact form. Go ahead and fill that out. That'll get right to me. And then we'll schedule a conversation. Like I said, I just want to have a conversation with you and kind of see where there might be any sort of win-win opportunities.
Love it. So refreshing talking with you. The creativity just oozes out of your skin. Which is
appreciate it.
You're like a dog. You're like the junkyard dog, just waiting to get, sink your teeth into it and get it done, because that's your passion. And
100%.
That's why you're so good. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate you.
Same. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.